A chance to hear from your Moto 1 winner, Chocolat Moli, stepping up to compete in the GP Runabout class, Dave. And starting from the pole to the inside will be Dustin Farthing, a 17-time world champion, as Moli, after winning the opening moto, chose to start to the outside.
Oh, look at this.
And it looks like Farthing, Dave, coming off the throttle. It looks like he's not going to be a part of Moto number 2, Dave, as he breaks down. So a tough break for King D.
And it looks like Nagano on that red machine out there, jumping out there. Chocolat Moli on the inside. Let's see how it's going to come around. Who's going to get the whole shot?
Yeah, it's tough when they try to spread out here as everybody's fighting for position. They come through the splits here, and David will be all sorted out as they come to the big left-handed 180 and make the turn of the front stretch, and it'll be Moli once again. So the man from Thailand, he started Moto number 1 back in second place behind Farthing, and he checks out and gets the whole shot here in Moto number 2.
This is basically the engine builders class. It's anything goes. These things, man. Let's shove a small block Chevy in there. Now, we're limited to 1,400 cc's, but they've done all the tweaks. We've got supercharged. We've got turbocharged. They've done a lot of work to these machines, and I tell you, well, top speeds we're going to see is close to 90 miles an hour. So reacting at 90 miles an hour, making these turns, you got to be on your game.
And talk about the importance of getting a good start, particularly at these high speeds. You definitely want to be within the top 3. It's so tough to come from behind if you're sitting 4th, 5th, 6th, or even further down the ladder.
Well, the first lap is the most important, obviously. It's when you got the best conditions, the water's flat, you want to get out there, establish yourself, and then once you get a couple laps into it, you know, it starts to get rough. You see Nagano right now out of Osaka, Japan. He's just, you can see just flying into it, holding a good spot right there. Our top riders want to establish themselves. Once you get back in, you know, the pack, it starts to get a little rough, and I can see attrition already starting to be a factor here in Moto number 2. A couple of boats starting to go down, starting to have some mechanical issues.
We began the day with 15 riders in GP Runabout. Of course, we didn't figure to finish with 15 riders as these boats are wound so tight. And Dave, talk about that. What do they mean when boats are wound very tight? What do these riders do? What do their crew chiefs do to try to get all the horsepower, all the speed possible out of these machines?
Well, a lot of them, of course, have changed, you know, the boost pressure from the turbochargers, also with the superchargers, the inlet, changing how much gas is going in the motor. These have ECUs that are programmed. I know Motec makes a unit like that where you can reprogram it and just take these things to the edge. And sometimes you take them a little too far and you get a meltdown, and we've seen that happen. We've seen belts, you know, jump off the superchargers. And another problem we're seeing too is the couplers that link the motor to the pump that drives this. They just, you know, when you come out of the water and these things are spinning so far, you know, so fast, you come back down and then you're going to run into that binding problem. So there's so many factors that have to be just perfect. And, you know, once again, you roll those dice, you might come up snake eyes or you might get 7.
And Moli already working his way through lap traffic. It looks like Dustin Farthing just pedaling his boat around the racecourse. And Moli bucked off the saddle into the water. We hope he's okay.
Yeah, I can see him floating right there.
So Moli treading water, so a vicious wreck along the backstretch. Moli clearly out in front of everyone. It looks like he might have just snagged a piece of bad water along the backstretch and hooked his boat. Maybe in a hole there, Dave, and that allows the Japanese rider Nakano to get it to the lead. And it looks like, yes, he just caught some dirty water, maybe a little hole, and it sucked him right in, Dave. And luckily for Moli, he appears to be okay.
Well, it looks to me possibly he might have pulled. A lot of these have levers which have trim tabs in the back, and he might have caught that lever, and he just hooked to the left-hand side, and that chine just caught, and it was. And here's a great look at it again, and you can see that thing knife left, and once those holes, the way they're designed to turn it, but that speed, they're not designed to turn.
One more look at it from the original camera angle. Watch his helmet go flying right there out of the camera angle. It looks like his helmet's punted off like a football. Goes about 20 yards past, but no worse for the wear is Chocolat Moli. And Dave, with the amount of boats that have broken down, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get back on the race course, but if he can, he still could vie for a world title, as Nagano now will check out. He's got the lead, but Dave, we've had a lot of boats go down here in this second moto, so if you can finish, you might have a shot at winning a world title here.
But I don't think with Nagano's finish that it's going to be enough there. I think with only 3 boats surviving this, if Chokotep Mali just stays in his position, this might just give him the overall and a world title.
And for Nagano now, he can't do much more than lead. Didn't have a great finish back in Moto number 1, so he needs to win, and he needs for Moli not to get back on the race course as we focus in now on Arminio Iantoska, who has moved into that second spot. No sign yet of Moli back on the track, but we'll keep you posted, and I'm sure we'll have our cameras on him should he return to the course. And that is not good news for the other riders on the race course as we get our first Chokotep Moli sighting after that vicious wreck a couple laps ago on the race course. So Moli able to get back to the pits, make the necessary repairs to his GP runabout, and now he's just running the paces around the race course, standing up in the saddle, Dave. So if he can finish this race course unofficially right now as we're tabulating, he would be your GP runabout world champion, because that's on the heels of winning the opening moto.
Yeah, definitely a 1 and a 3 would give him the higher count than Nagano or Iantoska have with their Moto number 1 finish. So just getting out there, that shows he really wants this bad. The question is what his face looks like right now underneath that helmet. Whether the grimace is there or is he smiling to a certain degree. Yeah, the entire Thai contingency, the Flamingo Racing, Knopf Insulation, I mean, big supporters they brought every year. They've got to be stoked. And that's one of the reasons I have a feeling that they made sure he was okay. They let him know, hey, there's only 2 other boats that have lasted out here with your Moto 1 finish. Get out there. You just got to finish and come around, and you'll have a world title. It's amazing. I don't think I've ever seen this many mechanical issues happen in a class, especially when we started with 15 of them and we only have 3 left.
Consistent laps for Arminio Iantoska as he continues to run second here in Moto number 2. He just hasn't had what it takes, Dave, to get on top of the mountain here at the World Finals. He's tried now for 11 years running. His highest finish ever, second place. That was 2 years ago here at the World Finals in Pro Runabout. So you know how desperately he would love to win, not only for himself, but his entire family that is out here supporting him each and every race. And they make the trek by truck out here from Naples, Florida each and every year. His mom, his dad, his brother, his sister, all the Iantoskas out here. They so desperately want to see Arminio win a world title.
Well, on top of that, Tim Judge is working all of his stuff, and I'll tell you, Tim, he's a world champion. He knows what it takes. He knows how to make these machines work and go. And Arminio's always had the great equipment. He hasn't really been plagued by mechanical issues per se, just some very stiff competition.
And Narito Nakano, the pride of Osaka, Japan, will be the first to cross the finish line here in Moto number 2. And limping around the finish line with that third place finish, Chokotep Moli. And he's going to be your world champion for 2009. So, Dave, very unexpected world title. I'm not even sure if he knows it, but his team probably knew if they could get him back on the race course that he would have a shot with the amount of attrition we have seen here in our 2 motos for GP Runabout.
ไม่รู้ว่าเป็นอะไรก็
Think more fast only.
ตีลังกาไปเลยก็
He not understand about that. He want to win only. He didn't know any. He think only 50% can come go to one championship after he have accident. After go allow very slow. He think only 50% can come to World Championship.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm coming from Mexico. I'm racing the Sport Modified class, and we're watching the 2009 IJSBA World Finals.